Good morning. I can see some more people are entering. Thank you very much. Today we're going to do an OPAC upgrade webinar, and I'm going to start right at 10 o'clock. Oh, it's 10 o'clock now. So thank you. My name is Kelly McElligott, and I'm one of the educators here with Bywater Solutions. I want to say thank you very much for attending today. And I'm going to go through a little bit of housekeeping just to remind you of so much information is available on our Bywater website. And we have tried really hard to get as much information out to you as possible prior to your upgrade so you know what to expect. Today's webinar is going to cover the OPAC and public service side of the new 1705 Koha. I am going to leave some time at the end for questions, so if you have any questions regarding anything else, you can certainly ask that, and I'd be happy to help answer any questions you have. I also am joined by Jessie, another educator here with Bywater Solutions, and she'll be monitoring the chat. Just a little bit of a reminder, if you do use the chat box, not all the participants can actually see your questions. You'll just see our responses. So it'd be really helpful if you were to use the Q&A box when posting your questions. But regardless, whether it's in the chat or the Q&A, Jessie will be monitoring those, and we'll either answer those as we go or at the end. I want to thank you all, and please ask questions. Today, we are going to cover the OPAC, and I think there's just one more webinar scheduled tomorrow. So I'm here on the Bywater website with the upgrade webinar schedule, and I'll put that in the chat for you. And this just shows you our webinar schedule. I think we have Circin patrons tomorrow. So we do have one. We were able to do 2 webinars per module, as well as our What's New. These are all recorded and on our website, so you have the ability to go and watch these if you were unable to attend them. At the bottom of this page, we actually have a reminder that we do have a couple of town hall sessions coming up. We are actually adding a 3rd one. Currently, we have one at the end of November, mid-December, and we'll have a 3rd one. The first 2 will talk about the upgrade and how things are going with the new 1705. We thought that maybe this would be a better way to do it, is just to have you guys, your library is upgraded, and then we could have a talk about what was going on. And then our 3rd, newer town hall session will be run to talk about our Elasticsearch, which I know a lot of you are looking forward to, and so are we. So we'll be joined by Nick Clemens, one of our Bywater developers, and he'll be able to talk to you about the upcoming Elasticsearch. So that's really exciting. I hope you all can attend. And again, we will record that for you. We also have this 1705 upgrade notes that we've put together for you. And again, I'm going to put this in the chat for you. This is amazing. You're actually going to be able to see all the release notes for the 1705. And then we also have the manual here. The manual will be something you want to bookmark on your computer as you go forward, so you're able to, if you have any questions, it's like my Bible at work, and when I'm out training. So I know it's important to myself, and probably as well as you guys. There is a new look to the manual. We're doing it a little different at Koha, and it's set up a little differently. However, you have that ability to have that table of content, and you do have that search area. So you would use that search. That will bring you to a section in the manual, and then you go ahead and show whether what my holds search is looking for. Am I looking for holds in circulation or cron jobs? And I could go ahead and click over to there. So once again, it's a new look. If you want to start getting used to it and play around with it, you have that ability with the table of content stays on the side as well. Something we're all getting used to, I think. The educators have been very busy making some blog posts and videos with the bigger highlights of our upgrade, 1705 upgrade. So here we have about 9. And they are either a blog post or a video capturing step-by-step instructions on how to set some of these things up. So this is a great resource if you weren't able to watch a webinar, you don't have time, but you did want to learn about that hold fee, you can go ahead and do that. Like I said before, we are recording our webinar sessions. So we do have that What's New webinar recorded, as well as our previous OPAC. We have 2 technical services, a report. So this is a great resource for you. I will get to the Q&A, but I just wanted to show you here below that we have all the enhancements that are in the 1705 release. I mean, it is just amazing how much work goes into this and how many things are being upgraded or changed or helping you with your workflow, your day-to-day operations. So all these have a link to a bug, and then you can go ahead and read a little bit of why this has come about and how to work it. So this is a great resource if you are interested in any of these things. So there is a ton. I think if I go here, I can see how many were actually, so there are 7 new features, 197 enhancements, and 292 bug fixes. I mean, the fact that we just upgraded to 16.11 in April, this is really amazing work. I'm always impressed with how much can get done. So then I wanted to also point to you the Q&A from the upgrade webinars. I'm going to actually try to incorporate some of the questions that were asked in the previous OPAC because maybe you're thinking the same question. However, this link will bring you right to all the questions that have been asked in our What's New webinar, as well as all these module-specific webinars and our answers. So this is a great resource because probably somebody's thinking the same thing or asked the same question. So you can go ahead and visit this page. So again, like I said, I just wanted to encourage everyone to go to the Bywater website, check out all the information that's out there that's going to help your job come when your upgrade happens. And so drum roll, please. 1705 upgrades will begin tomorrow and will continue throughout the month. So this is so exciting. All the upgrades we will start after 8 p.m. your local time. And then right here on your staff client in that news section, you will have a red box and it will tell you your upgrade date, which will happen a week prior. And that will show up on your staff client a week prior to your upgrade date. Now, as a friendly reminder, the morning after your update, go ahead and clear the cache on all those computers that have access to Koha so your upgrade can be successful. So this is really exciting that we're able to get it going so quickly. So thanks again. I'm going to jump right into the new enhancements on the OPAC. So I'm going to go over, and let's go to the main page of the OPAC. So just a few things that I wanted to point out to you is one of the bigger features on the OPAC is the forgot your password reset. So, sorry, if you used the reset your password feature that was introduced in 16.11, this new enhancement works with that system preference. So there is a new system preference called it's failed login attempts, and we'll go through those in the administration, but I'm going to demonstrate them on the OPAC first. It is a ability to lock your patrons out after so many attempts. So you have the ability to choose the number of attempts your patron can do before they're locked out. So if I go ahead and try to log into my account on the OPAC, I should be able to get a account logout. Let's try again. and I have this account has been locked. You must reset your password. So if this is a feature that you want to introduce to your library, you will need to make sure that you have your OPAC reset password turned on as well to allow your patrons, once they're locked out, to reset their password. So I'm going to show you both those system preferences. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and hit you must reset your password just to show you the whole process. So since I have it turned on, I can go ahead. It's very important. We talked about this in the 1611 upgrade schedule, that for your patrons to reset their password, they need to know their login information, whether that is their barcode or that is their first name dot last name, as well as the email they set up with the library. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that tells me I'm going to receive an email shortly, and I'll get a link, and that link is valid for 2 days. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to the staff client and just show you those two system preferences. I'm going to go over to my Koha administration. Now the first one is really important, is that OPAC reset password, and you need to have that turned on to allow. So this just said library users are allowed or not allowed to recover their password via email in the OPAC. So it's really important that that's turned on, and then you also have the new system preference that's called failed login attempts. This system preference allows you to put in a number here. So you can choose 1, you can choose 5, how many times before the patron gets locked out of their account. So currently mine is set at 3. You could do as many as you want. So this is where this would happen. Now, if this is something that seems really interesting to you and you want to set this up, just to let you know that that OPAC reset button, preference does have a notice attached to it, and that is set up in your notices and slips. So if you wanted to change any of the wording, you can go ahead and do that in that notices and slips tools. So I'll go over and show you that. I think I should be able to show you my notice that I personally will get on the so I have this password reset notice already set up in my system. And this just says that the email has been sent in response to your password recovery request. So this works in conjunction. It tells you how that's all set up for you. Okay, so that's pretty fun. So let's see if I can get into my account now. Nope, so I'll use my other accounts. Okay, now a new enhancement, and this is pretty cool, and we had a lot of questions about this, so I'm happy to show it. And once again, please, if you have any questions, there is a ability to allow patrons to put notes on items they have checked out. So here I'm on my checkout, my summary page on the OPAC, and I can see all my items that are checked out. I have this new column over here that allows me to add a note to an item. This note will be communicated to the librarian when they check in the item. So you could put something like, I have here, the title page is missing. If it was a DVD, I could say the DVD is scratched, or there was no DVD. Anything like that your patron could put on there. This is something that you can allow them to do if you so choose. This is a system preference set up, and I'll show you what that looks like, but I'm going to go through the process and show you how it looks on both the patron side and the staff side. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this one, page. So once I go ahead and leave a note, I can hit submit. The patron will get a confirmation that I did leave that note. And now, once this item is checked in, the staff will go ahead and see that. So let's go ahead and go over there. There was a, okay, so let me grab this barcode, check it in for you guys and show you. So your circulation staff will be on alert. Be on alert. So here I have patron note. Here it is, all I really need to know, I learned in kindergarten, and it says missing last page. Disregard this, there's something wrong with my account. That's why I wanted to log in with another account. So your staff will be communicated that a patron left a note on their account. Now, reading the bug notes, it would appear that the item that left the note would be communicated to the librarian in another way, such as an email. And unfortunately, how we're seeing that the enhancement is working is that the patron will get the email saying they left a note as opposed to the librarian. So there has been another bug put on this feature because I know that librarians would like to see the note being emailed to them versus to the patron. So here, if I go to my notices as the patron that left it, I can see that I'm going to get a note saying that I left an item. I left a note on this item. So I have actually the bug for that change here, and I'll put that in the chat box. A question came up during the last OPAC webinar asking if these notes would be visible on a SIP machine. At this point, we don't believe they will be. So this is something that may cause an issue for libraries that are using automatic checkout machines. However, this is a system preference. So it is not something you need to turn on if you don't want it to be on. So this global system preference is allow checkout notes. I would like to say, see, we have allow or don't allow. This is not something that will be turned on once you get the new upgrade. You would go ahead and turn that on to use this enhancement. Let's see, I have a question here. How does the note disappear from the record? It is, it automatically goes away once it's checked in, Debbie. That's a great question. And if I go over to my Q&A from another webinar, it is kept in the old issues table in the database. And George he's from a consortium. I can't remember which consortium. Nichols. He is actually going to write a report and going to share that report on the wiki so you can capture all the notes. If this is something you wanted to turn on, but you wanted to do just a double check, maybe weekly or something on the staff side, you could go ahead and do that. So we have George telling us that he'll write a report to help those libraries if you're interested in this. I think it's a great enhancement. I think that it won't be used by everybody, but it's something that could be potentially a great tool. I'm used to those sticky notes in books or like little handwritten on the page in pencil from a person. So this could really make it a little bit nicer when to get a note from a patron.
And Debbie, and for anyone else who has questions about the notes, I've placed a link to the upgrade webinars Q&A that Kelly has mentioned, and we have a breakdown of what happens to that note.
Thanks, Jessie. And there is another bug that's being worked on, which I think that this would be a great advantage to this allow patron checkout notes, is there's a bug that would like to see the patron checkout notes to be added here. So that would bring you a link. Oh, my mic is going in and out. Sorry, I'll get closer, Lisa. That will bring you that. This is a bug that's looking to add it here, which I think that's a great enhancement as well, that you could actually see all the notes that were left on items on this front page of the staff client. Trying to see. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Good questions. Now, another new enhancement we have is that we actually you can sort your reading history by author or by title. So for those patrons that have a lot of things in their reading history stored, they have that ability to go ahead and sort those by date or title or author. All those James Patterson readers, they could go ahead and sort by author and see all the James Patterson books they've read in the past. So that is really convenient to see. Before, this wasn't something that they could do, but now you can go ahead and do that sorting by date or title. So this is a pretty fun little enhancement that people might like to be able to use. And we also have another kind of enhancement for patrons to go ahead and sort on your find table. So I could go ahead and sort by fine amount or by date. Once again, I think that this is just a nice enhancement, as well as we can do it on the staff side, so why can't the patrons do it on the patron side? So something new that they're able to do. A lot of the 1705 enhancements are for usability. It's just to make it look nice, your workflow work well for the patrons. So this would make you, if you have never thought about submitting something to the community, wouldn't it be great if this is a great opportunity? You can go ahead and do that. You can give us a call or submit a ticket to find out how to do that. I think that looking at the number of bug fixes that the community has done in 6 months, you know it's possible. So just a little shout out to helping the community if you have something that you think would be a great idea. Okay, is there anybody out there that has like a newsletter or that would like to be able to have patrons sign up for a newsletter or to change something on their personal history? I was thinking that a lot of libraries use patron attributes for different things. I've seen driver's license numbers. We have a funky one here for your favorite color. I think that a lot of other libraries are using it for different reasons. But I thought this morning, wouldn't it be great, and maybe somebody else has done this, when a person logs into their personal details on the OPAC, there's now the ability to change or update your patron attributes. So if anyone's using patron attributes, this is something to think about. I have just added something here this morning to say monthly newsletter, so I could go ahead and say yes or no. So this is a great way to communicate to your patrons that you have a newsletter and for them to be able to opt in. So we now have the ability with Koha to allow patrons to update their patron attributes. So you can see it on the patron side. So I'm going to go ahead and hit yes. So we have a few. We have favorite color. I could change that. And we have this previous system ID. Now, not all your patron attributes have to be seen by the patrons or editable. This is just something you can think about, or you could just choose one patron attribute. So I'm going to show you how you can set that up because I think it's pretty fun. So here I have submitted my updates on the OPAC. So I'm going to pop over to the staff client. Now I'm going to show you where you can set that up. Patron attributes live in the administration module. So I'm going to go over to my Koha administration. And in that patrons and circ section, I have this patron attribute type. So as you can see, I have 5 set up. However, as a patron, I only saw 3. So you do have the ability to go ahead and choose which ones your patrons can see and or edit now. So here I have this monthly newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit so you can see how I set that up today. So I created this today. I gave it a code, a description, and then there's a few questions that would you let your patron have multiple values? Is this something that would be unique? And then we have display in OPAC. So if this is checked, then the patron can see this attribute on their detail page in the OPAC. And then this is the new one, editable in OPAC. So if I check here, this is going to allow my patrons to edit this attribute on their detail page. So that's pretty cool. And how I made it a yes or no, I have this authorized value category of just making it yes or no. I can also bring this down to which branches or a category, but I kept that. For everybody. It's a cool patron attribute. So that is how you would set that up. You would create or edit an existing patron attribute to be able to be first visible in the OPAC and then editable. It will not, I should have shown you that, it will not let you edit it. It will, once I click that, I cannot actually click it unless it is displayed. So it won't let me go ahead and choose that if it can't be displayed. So you'd have to choose both those. Okay. Oh, and then once the person has edited their patron attribute, it shows you on the main page of the staff client. And then I have here that Kelly has gone ahead and said yes to the monthly newsletter, and I can approve or deny or ignore it. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I like that one.
Yeah, just how fun things your brain works. Okay, another new system preference, another new enhancement, not a system preference. This is if your library allows tags. How many people are using tags at their library, allowing your patrons to tag items? You can just put a hand up if you are. I wonder, as we go around to libraries training, Jesse and I, it's kind of funny how people are either yes or no. There's never that in between, I'm not sure. But if you do allow tags at your library, there is a new, once again, this is just a user enhancement that is more quick than it used to be. I can go ahead and I have all these tags. I can now go ahead and choose to delete multiple at a time. So instead of before it was I had to choose one, then delete, choose one, then delete. I can go ahead and delete all of them at the same time. I have that ability. So this is something that if you would like to see happen, if you want to have tags starting to work in your library, go ahead. This is just a nice feature. Now, just a warning that this is something that only works if you have your JavaScript enabled. So now this is really fun. I love this one. I'm trying to remember. Kelly. I'm logged in as Kelly. So as I'm logged into Kelly, I can actually see my OPAC news on that main screen. So I have this film screening tonight, and then I have a knitting club meeting on Thursday. Now, this is because Kelly is part of the East Branch, she can see this knitting club meeting on Thursday. If Kelly was not part of the East Branch, this knitting club meeting would not show up on her main screen. So you can target your specific branch on your news feature now, which is a great new enhancement. In addition, I always have that ability to go ahead and see all the news. So if I wasn't logged in to the East Branch, I can go ahead and just see everything that was system-wide versus specific to my own. But once I'm logged into my branch and I'm logged in as an East Branch librarian member, I can actually see the news for the East Branch. If I wanted to go ahead and see anything else, I can go ahead and see any other news specific to a different branch from here. Now I'm going to show you how you can set that up. I think this is a great new feature that allows you to really target your library patrons per branch if you're part of a multi-branch system. In your tools module, this is where your news section is. And I do wonder if a lot of people are using this, but this is something that you could start using if you saw that it had potential. This is great. So right here, I can see that this news section is just specific to the East Branch versus this all libraries. So if I were to create a new entry as a new news feature, I can go ahead and choose that it's on the OPAC versus the librarian interface, which would be the staff side. And then I could go ahead and choose which library I wanted to be seen on. So that all libraries was that film screening. And then if I wanted to say that it's the main branch and go ahead and create that title, publication date, expiration, and fill this information out. I don't know when this started, but I love the expiration date, allowing it to go ahead and be removed automatically versus you having to go in and delete those. But once again, this is a great new system preference that once you're logged in, you can actually see what is going on in your specific branch. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things when a patron is searching on the OPAC. Just a few, once again, visibility things, but something that might be fun for your patrons to see. Let's see. If I go into a subscription that my library has, a serial subscription, I'm going to go ahead and click my serial subscription. I can now see the number of subscriptions that are in the system. Oops, I'm trying to highlight it and it's not letting me. So I can see that this subscription of Newsweek is available at both the East Branch and the main library. And I can actually see that number at the top. So this is a great new feature if you're a multi-branch system and you want to show out how many subscriptions of this serial you have. This does give your patron an idea of what they have. We also have this volume information that's both visible on the holdings page as well as the subscription page, which is a new feature that allows you to see that volume information. So that's two new little serial things, subscription for your patron to see on the OPAC. Okay, now we also have a new feature with our lists and our cards, actually. So there is now a new quicker way for your patron to make a new list. So if your patrons use that list feature, we have that public list, which are what your librarians make for your public. And then you also have, once your patron has logged in, has that ability to create a new list. And now we found out this morning, and I'm going to put in this bug, that I have a list already set up in my system. Now what I'm going to go ahead and delete this list. What the actual enhancement allows your patron to do is once they're here, they have that quick link right to go to make a new list. However, I figured out that this new list choice only shows up if you have no lists. So once I click this, it will bring me right to making a list, which is super great. But once I create a list, I'm going to keep my list, it's Vermont. Once I create a list, I don't have that option anymore. And I would have to take that click to view all and then create a new list from here. So the bug was trying to streamline how to make a new list, but it's kind of a little wonky still. So this is something that I think we'll have to put a bug in for. Because it has a great feature. It has great things in mind, but it's just not quite there. Now, I wonder, this next enhancement puts in a couple words that reminds patrons that when they create a cart or lists and they email them, that it's not to email to the library as a maybe purchase suggestion or something to put everything on hold for them. Do you have any libraries that have found that patrons are emailing you their list or their cart? I wonder. There must have been a few, because there is a new bug that puts a note on this form that reminds patrons that this is not something they should use to request or renew books. So this will work with both sending a list or sending a cart. So I'm going to go ahead and do I have anything in my cart? Nope. Go to my Vermont list. Let me search and add something so then I can send it. Go ahead and save that to my list. Okay, I'm going to go back to my list. And if I click this send list, there is now this verbiage here that says, do not use this mail to request or renew books. So that's a nice new enhancement. Now, last week's OPAC webinar, we had a library that actually wanted that removed because they wanted their patrons to use this ability to send them their list. So this is something that if you want this information to be hidden, you can go ahead and submit a ticket and we'll take care of that. So it's funny that I'm sure it was put there because a lot of libraries were getting people sending their lists or carts to the librarian. But then again, other libraries are using for a different purpose. So once again, both in the sending of a list or sending of a cart, this new verbiage is added that please do not use this mail to request or renew books. Now, granted, your patron would need to know your email address, but at least this kind of lets them know the purpose of it. So that's just a new little enhancement. And again, if you don't want that to be on there, go ahead and submit a ticket to us and we'll remove it for you. Okay. Now, I did want to show you just a few things that if you wanted to incorporate just to see what it looks like on the OPAC side. Now we have a new enhancement with our holds. If your library incorporates hold fees, there are a lot of you that charge a hold fee for putting something on hold. Maybe not. Raise your hands? Nope. Okay. So now there is the ability to charge a hold fee in not only when they place the hold, but you can choose to allow your patrons to pay the fine or be charged the fine when they pick up the hold instead. So you have a couple different options. So I'm going to go ahead and put something on hold so you can see what it looks like on the patron side. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just do that quick link, place a hold. And I am told here in the hold screen that I will be charged a hold fee of $1 when I collect this item. I'm going to go ahead and confirm the hold. Now I'm going to show you what that system preference looks like on the staff side and show you the options that your library has. So I'm going to go to our administration module. And this system preference is under hold fee mode. So now I have this charge a hold fee, and I have a third option. So I have anytime a hold is collected, that's the newest option. Anytime a hold is placed, my third option, only if all items are checked out and the record has at least one hold already. So now instead of placing the hold, charging the hold fee when a hold is placed, I can go ahead and do that when the hold is collected. So when the patron comes and picks up their hold, such as Farmer Boy, then that hold fee would be charged to the patron's account. So something a little new added to the holds situation. Now, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of you using that holds feature, but something if you want to do in the future. Now, does anybody know where you set up if you charge a hold fee? Anybody? This is a tricky one if you don't use it especially, but holds are determined by patron category. So to do holds, you would go into your Koha administration and go into your patron categories. And that's where you would determine whether there was a hold charged. So here I have that staff, lucky staff, they get that dollar hold fee. And then you can go ahead and determine which, what the price is as well in here. So I have right here the hold fee. Now, if this is something that you wanted to go ahead and start doing, when making changes to your patron categories, that would only affect patrons new in that category once you make that change. If it's something you wanted to be retroactive to incorporate all those patrons in that patron category, you would go ahead and submit a ticket to us so we could go ahead and make that change for you on the back end. Just giving you a little bit more flexibility. Now I have time for one more feature that I'll show you, and then we'll have time for questions because I see a couple things in chat. Now, once, if anyone saw, when I was logged into my patron summary, I have this new tab here that says Clubs. And I'm going to click over there and I'm going to show you. We have a new feature called Patron Clubs. Using this is a great way to allow patrons to enroll in clubs that you have, book clubs, summer reading clubs that you have in your library. Now, I would say at this point, it's a pretty, it's a new feature, and there are a lot of things that we would love to see added to this feature, but right now, you have the ability to allow your patrons to be enrolled in a club. You can create clubs on the staff side for your patrons to enroll in, so you can see that this patron is enrolled in a music club and this knitting club. I can go at any time as a patron and cancel my enrollment. And then also below that, I have the ability to enroll in, say, this summer adult reading program, and I can go ahead and enroll it. In this club, when it was created, and I'll show you that on the other side, there were a couple things that we wanted our patron to answer when they enrolled themselves in this club. So I have two questions. I'm asked how old I am and what township I'm in. So I would go ahead and put in my age, and that I'm not sure. I don't know townships, so I'll just put that I live in Vermont. And I'm going to go ahead and finish that enrollment. Now, on the staff side, I'll show you where patron clubs are. Patron Clubs are in the Tools section. And it's right under this Patrons in Circulation. And I have this Manage Patron Clubs. So right here, I do have the clubs that were available to me. And so I went ahead and I enrolled in this summer reading program. So as a staff member, I can go ahead and look at the enrollments that are included in this. At this point, this is as far as I get. I'm not alerted as a librarian that Kelly went ahead and enrolled herself. I don't have a lot of information here. As a staff member, I could go ahead and click and get some information about my patron that enrolled. We'd love to see this grow as this patron club gets incorporated into people's libraries and be able to enhance it a little bit more. Now at the top, you have that ability to create a club template. So I'll go ahead and click that. Let's see, edit the summer adult reading, and you can see that there's some information like a start date, an end date. I could be specific to the type of library and what's involved in that modifying the club. This is something you can go ahead and play around with and see just a little bit about it and see if that would work for your library. Once again, this is something that is going to continue to grow, and we'd love to hear feedback about it. Okay, so we have a couple minutes for any questions, Jessie, if we have any. I hope I didn't go too fast for too many people.
Cheryl had a question that came in about the newsletter, essentially. She asked if a patron selects yes to the newsletter, what does that actually do? Does staff need to manually add them to the newsletter list maintained separately by the library, or is that a newsletter interface that I don't know about? And I just responded to Cheryl and I let her know that that was an example that you were using for the patron attribute types to show them that that's now integrated on the OPAC side. I just mentioned that some people use this for collecting information about signing waivers, perhaps for computers, or maybe a preferred method of contact. Mm-hmm. Patron attributes can be really created for any type of purpose. So in the example that Kelly was using as the newsletter, that would be a way for staff to collect information about the patron or user if they would like to receive the newsletter, and then staff would have to add the patron to the newsletter distribution list separately, whether you're using MailChimp or Constant Contact or another form of communication.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Jessie. That's awesome.
Yep. That was it for the questions, Kelly.
And I did want to mention Patron Clubs does have a video on our blog that goes step by step, so you can go ahead and watch that. And once again, we have a lot of other web blog posts that are out there that you can go ahead and see how many tabs I have open, these blog posts and videos of what I've covered. This is really exciting. I hope that everyone has something that we found that they wanted to incorporate into their Koha going forward. It's always good to see all the new enhancements and how Koha keeps on improving itself. Okay, does anyone have any questions from other webinars or anything they are thinking about? Or you have two amazing educators here that can answer all your questions. I want to thank everyone for coming. This is great. I hope everyone found something that they wanted to do. Seriously, 292 bug fixes is amazing, don't you think? Goodness.
Yeah, I really like this release because there were a lot of new user interface updates too, and I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. One time we should probably do a webinar for patrons.
Yeah, for sure.
We could really show them how it works.
Just out of curiosity, does anyone create videos for their patrons to put on their website and show them how to navigate perhaps the OPAC, self-register, or anything like that?
Okay, guys. Well, if anyone thinks of anything, you know that you can always submit a ticket if you need help. A lot of these are system preferences that you would go ahead and turn on if this is something your library is thinking about or would like to incorporate. Once again, you can always go to the manual, go to our website for any information you have. Okay, great. Okay, Jesse, I think we're good.
Nice job, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse, for helping out. Everyone, have a great day. I hope you have a fabulous day today. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome. Thank you.